So this is one way that you can do nonlinear scaling if you need to scale the different directions, the X, Y, and Z directions going up and down on a website called Tinkercad, which lets you also do some 3D design work. So what I would do is I would import the design that I want to print. So I go over here where it says import, and I'm going to choose a file. And what I would do is find the file that I wanted to print. In this case, it might be, let's say I want to print the Gauntlet for an unlimited hand. Let me load up the Gauntlet. And I would import it in. If I know the scale and I want everything to scale the same, I can type the scale in right here. I'm just going to assume that I don't know anything. I'm going to import in as a standard scale. And it's going to import this Gauntlet STL file in. Okay, so here's my Gauntlet. And what I want to do is I kind of want to lay this flat to get the view that I would normally want. So I'm holding down the right mouse button to kind of move around in this 3D space. And I would 3D move it around until I'm to the side. Alternatively, you can use this little box over here, and you can kind of click to get it over to the right side. And there's, I want to lay this down flat, so I can click on these little arrows, this little curved arrow. When it turns red, that means I can rotate. And I'm just going to rotate that 90 degrees. And then bring it down to lay on the bed. Okay, so then I can have my little piece zoomed in. I can go back up here to the top left, and I'll go to a top view, and we'll use the mouse scroll button to kind of scroll in. And then you hold down the third mouse button, that scroll wheel, to kind of pan around. And I can see the dimensions that I have here. Now let's say I wanted to change the dimensions. Let's say I did my measurements and I need this gauntlet to be a very strange size. I need to increase this length by double. I need a 200% size. So I can click on this, when I go to these little boxes, when I go to this corner, you see it brings up these measurements where I have the 87.03 that kind of gives me the left-right kind of view, and the 95.05 gives me the up-down measurement. So I can click on that box, and that will lock those measurements for a couple seconds so that I can actually click on them. And if I wanted to increase this by, say, double what it is, then I can multiply this 87.03 by 2. So if I had a 200% scaling, I would multiply 87.03 times 2, which would give me, what is that, 174.06. So I have a very large scaling on that, and that scales only that one dimension. And then if I want to scale the other dimension, I can again come up here and I can click on the little box, and I can come up and I can click in the measurement, and 95.05, let's say that needed to be 150%. So I would take that 95.05 and I would multiply by 150%, so 1.5. So 95 times 1.5 would give me 142.5. So I would type in 142.5, and that would give me 150%. And then I've scaled up the basically the X and Y directions. If I want to scale the Z direction as well, which might be necessary, I can come here, kind of go to a right-hand view. Again, I'm using the right mouse button to kind of scroll around in this 3D view. I can zoom in a little bit if I want, using that scroll wheel on my mouse button. What I'm looking for is this box that gives me my up-down arrow, and we can see it's 5.98. Let's say I wanted to more or less double this. I could double this to 12, and that would increase the size, scale everything up to 12. So now I've got my gauntlet for a very, very giant person. Tricky things with these nonlinear scalings is you need to remember these for each dimension. So if I scale things differently in X, Y, and Z, I need to do that consistently amongst all the pieces, amongst all the fingers, all the finger pins, and all the gauntlets. know if that helps.